Aging well is my favorite subject, and eating well is a favorite subject as well. I'm 67 years old, and this video I will share what works for me. Here's what I eat. Here's what I never eat. I eat the same way I dress. Quality over quantity. My view is you can eat anything you want. You just can't eat it all the time. Let's get started. My grandmother, Italian with a little bit of French sprinkled in, taught me the basics about eating healthily. In their home, it was a main meal that included protein, a few really crispy vegetables, and always a really big salad filled with all sorts of interesting textures and flavors and lots of crunch. That is still the meal that I look forward to every day as our main meal. It's the Mediterranean diet. It's just that when I was young, it didn't have a name. It was just Grandma's house. We eat lots of fish, a little bit of chicken, lots of plant protein, and a little bit of beef. As organic as we can possibly find. It's getting more and more expensive, but we think keeping our bodies healthy makes it worth it. You see, the wiser we get, the more protein we actually need relative to our body weight. Turns out our bodies are less efficient at using protein, a process called anabolic resistance. This is why we're losing muscle mass, we're losing muscle strength. So the math is this. Most experts suggest we need 0.5 grams times our body weight every day in protein. So for example, let's say you weigh 150 pounds. You need about 83 grams of protein every day, and ideally you'd spread that out through the day. So you'd have 25 to 30-ish grams of protein at every meal. Doesn't matter what kind of protein, just so you feed your body that protein. I learned one more really important thing from my grandmother. She never dieted. She ate everything, so I eat everything. You can eat everything you want, you just can't eat it all the time. We've learned all sorts of little fun tricks to make every plate look so beautiful, even though it's super easy. So we love to sprinkle black sesame seeds on our salmon. We love to toss dried unsweetened cranberries into our salad. I'm always looking for little ways to add more protein. So here's some little tricks. See if you like any of them. First, I often will pan fry just a tiny little bit of pancetta, crisp it up, and toss that into our green beans. I'll then sprinkle a little bit of sliced almonds on top. We've added protein value to our green beans. The other thing I love to do, I'll buy frozen edamame from Trader Joe's and defrost it so that over the next couple of days, I'll throw a handful of defrosted plant protein, the edamame, into a salad. It makes the salad more interesting, it makes it prettier, it makes it more delicious, and has more protein value. We love that. It's so important to us, not only that our food is nutritious, of course, but it also needs to be beautiful and crunchy and interesting and different from time to time. I love adding a little surprise to a meal, something that my husband doesn't expect that we haven't had before. Just brings us joy. Just like styling your body every day to be beautiful, we think every plate should be beautiful. We love to plate up, and what that means is we don't tend to serve our meals family style. Rather, we make every plate with the protein and the salads and the vegetables, prepare it, and then serve it to each other at the table. We look at textures and colors. We try to have as many different colors as possible with the vegetables and in that salad. Beauty is appealing. It makes every single simple meal a holiday. If you've enjoyed this video so far, please give it a like. And if you're new to the channel and you've enjoyed this kind of content all about aging well, please subscribe. We'd love to have you as a new member of our community. We look at styling, we look at skincare, we look at healthy eating and exercise, everything that impacts women as we move along the world. No guilt, not often. That's a famous tagline around our table. There's nothing I love that I don't eat. I love a glass of wine. I love French fries. I'm very fussy about my French fries though. I don't like the fat ones. I only like the super skinny ones, the ones that are really, really crispy. The French frites, those really crispy ones, I love those. I love bread, but I only love bread that's really soft on the inside and super crispy crust on the outside. My grandmother used to say she didn't like bread very much because it made her fat. But the problem was she loved it. So she taught me, you only eat it when it's fabulous. It's easy to pass when whatever it is isn't good. Let me explain what I mean. I drink wine, but I only do that 3 or 4 times a week. And no, only ever one glass and only ever good wine. So at home, my husband is quite the connoisseur, so he only serves exquisite wine. But let's say we're out at an event and we're served wine that I don't think is very nice. I will have a sip. I'll just sort of politely keep drinking water throughout the meal. Similarly, as my grandmother taught me, I love crispy bread. We're very lucky to live walking distance to a beautiful French bakery. Periodically, we'll buy one of their beautiful baguettes. Walking home with it, it's still hot. They also have the most beautiful rustic French sourdough bread. Well, those breads I will have just one slice, dipped in the most beautiful olive oil we order from a vineyard in California. I'll include the details of where we source our beautiful eating olive oil in the description box. I don't use that olive oil to cook with, however. Instead, I use Trader Joe's California extra virgin olive oil to cook with. I use the less expensive olive oil for cooking and the more expensive olive oil for dipping. Dessert. I love a good, delicious, homemade dessert, but only homemade. I love a cheesecake. I love brownies. I love cookies at the holidays, but only homemade. I'm never going to waste my time having a dessert that's not absolutely spectacular. Instead, after a meal, if I need a little something, and I often do, I'll have 2 or 3 dried dates. I love Trader Joe's pitted dates. They satisfy me. They satisfy that sweetness that I want. Sometimes I'll have slices of an apple. I love that too. And if I really need a sweet and it's just not going away, my husband loves bonbons. They're ice cream little balls with chocolate on the outside from Trader Joe's, so we always have them in the freezer. And if I need a sweet, I will have a sweet, and I will have 2 of those, and I'm satisfied. The other thing I'm really forced to be good about is drinking water. Not long ago, I had a kidney stone, and I learned as a result of that I wasn't drinking enough water. I must drink 3 liters of water a day. So if I'm not having wine with a meal, I'm having lots and lots of water instead. 3 liters of water a day. That's what I need to do. I never have seconds. I don't need it. One plate of a beautiful meal is sufficient for me. I love breakfast. Typically, we'll have a mixed bowl of fruit that my husband and I will share, and I will add cottage cheese and some sliced almonds on top, and he will add yogurt and some sliced almonds on top. Sometimes on the weekends, we'll do something special and change that formula. We may have poached eggs on toast, and I love crispy bacon, but we don't have it very often, and I won't fry it. Instead, I will bake it in the oven on a rack so that the excess oil from the bacon drips down into the pan below. It's a treat, and we only have it infrequently, but when we do have it, we love it. The other little treat we love to have for breakfast on the weekends is I make a healthy crepe, and we put yogurt and blueberries inside, roll up the crepe, sprinkle just a little bit of beautiful maple syrup, and then some sprinkled almonds on top. That is a super treat for a Sunday breakfast. We love it, but it's still healthy. I love coffee in the morning, but unfortunately, my body doesn't love caffeine. It simply doesn't tolerate it as it used to. So I've learned I can have 1, 2 at the most cups of coffee in the morning. I must make sure I don't have any caffeine after 2 o'clock in the afternoon. To my coffee, when I was a young girl, I would add whole milk and a bit of sugar. These days, I really don't like either whole milk, I don't like half and half, and I certainly don't like sugar. Believe it or not, you're gonna think this is a little weird, but my favorite thing to put in my coffee is skim milk. I love it whether it's a latte or a cappuccino or a regular coffee. I love adding skim milk. Because my body doesn't like the caffeine, I also have to be very careful when I have anything chocolate. So if I've been invited somewhere and chocolate is served as a dessert in the evening, I try to have as little as possible. Otherwise, that caffeine will wake me up at 3 in the morning. I try to always be polite, but I'll certainly try to have as little caffeine as possible after 2 o'clock. Over the last few years, if our schedule permits it, I prefer to eat an intermittent fasting schedule. So what that means for me is that I will have breakfast, as I've described it, and then we will have our main meal at lunchtime, sort of 1 or 2 o'clock. If, however, we're traveling or we're meeting friends for dinner or whatever, I simply will abandon the intermittent fasting, just trying to be as flexible as possible. I do find at 67, however, that a healthy breakfast and a really good main meal at lunchtime satisfies me. If I do get a little peckish and I need a little something at the end of the day as a snack, which is rare, I might have a little bit of cheese, a few olives, and maybe a few pistachios. I love pistachios in the shell. I kind of think it's fun to be opening up the shells. I suppose it slows me down too. So if I have to get the nut out of the shell, I'm likely to eat fewer nuts, which isn't a bad thing. The other thing I do to age well is I exercise. I believe in moving. And if you've been following me a while, you know that I love Bar 3, which I do online. If you're interested, let me know. I could always prepare an entire video on the subject of exercise, how I do it, what I love to do. That's it for me. I hope that you found this how I eat in a day, what I eat, what I don't eat, I hope this was of interest to you. I hope you found it useful. Do let me know in the comments below. I hope you're all very well. Thank you, as always, for watching. I really appreciate it. There is such a thing as a hype button. I'm not sure what it does, but I understand if I get hype points, it's good for the channel. So if you feel like it, hit the hype. I'd be most appreciative. In the meantime, get up, get dressed, be happy. Can't wait to see you next time. Bye-bye.